I'd say it's fine. I may need to talk a little louder, but it's fine. Okay, so, any suggestions to start off? I mean, probably not. Right now it's just my second account on here. This I have seen a bunch of times. Yeah, I watch a bunch of stuff. Wait, what? Nah, Kane. Kane in the street, that's crazy. But, yeah. Sorry, I'm a little sick right now. I've not had a great time recently. But I've been trying to manage through it. Also, excuse me for talking low. Yeah, I'm trying to manage my voice a bit better, but yeah. By the way, we should probably set a few ground rules. For one, no copyrighted songs. Because YouTube, you know? I'm in fact gonna add some text to show the rules. Okay. Set the color to black. And that is very large text, sheesh. Yeah, no copyrighted songs. Two will probably be no Rickroll. I said Ickroll. No Rickroll. Because we do not take that here. Third rule, no brain rot. Because we do not want to be idiots here. No copy? Anyone? Let me adjust this real quick. I think about their works. fact, I can probably, I'm gonna make this a bit bigger. Yeah, actually that works well. Okay. So, we need something to watch. Let's see. Please hold. Okay, we are back. And no one is still here. Great. Let me see really quick. I need to see this real quick. Because there's one music guy that I would really love to show you guys. Okay, so I can, as long as I credit him. Okay, so, is anyone here familiar with Ivy Comb? This guy makes some banger music. Some great examples are Infamous, which I absolutely love. Which, I should probably turn on my desktop audio so that y'all can hear these. I'll put it on low. So, Ivy Comb.
Just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
Yeah, we don't care. But yeah, this guy's a banger. Or he makes some banger tracks. I need to adjust this real quick. Okay.
I sneak up, creep up, burning at my rubber, yet they cannot keep up, leading like the king and
I'm telling y'all, this is great.
beat me, defeat me, cause they're looking at a blur, rubber wall can't see me. I think they see me as infamous. Oh.
And that is only one great example of some amazing music Ivy Comb makes. So yeah, credit down here, Ivy Comb Music. Please don't sue me, Ivy Comb. I'm actually a big fan of you. But he makes some great tracks. I'm trying to find another good one that I know. Because there are some that I've listened to frequently, and then there's some that I've only heard like once. Oh yeah, there's one up here. I'm gonna try to find that one. Here it is. This one's a great one.
I've been singing stupid love songs for far too long.
Yeah, fair warning, he does often use some usually not very nice language.
Anxieties, past and present love.
That's only some of his songs, though.
Despite my flaws, and although I'm not the same anyway,
I find myself bobbing my head every single time I listen to this song. Yeah, that's just like two great examples of his amazing music. Also, what? But yeah. Let me check the stream again, make sure that it's running good. Yeah, these are also some songs that I really like. Company Grace especially. I don't know if it's copyrighted though. And also I realized that I misspelled copyright, so. Joke's on you, already knew that I'm an idiot. There you go. me check real quick if Cup de Grace is copyrighted. Okay, yeah, it is. So, unfortunately, I cannot show it. Missed opportunity, honestly. And I should make it apparent that I'm not taking YouTube URLs because I know that's dangerous. So if you have a suggestion, just tell me the name of it and I will look it up. Don't suppose anyone has any suggestions, would they? Actually, I know something. Let's see. I have something I would like to show y'all. I can't show it. That is sad. I would have loved to show y'all that. Okay, so there's this pilot that I watched very recently. It was called Simulator, the first person show, and it was hilarious. A lot of PG jokes, but you know, very funny. It took on that kind of like I guess very stylistic approach. Kind of like Overclock, but more like bland. It was still funny overall. Like those classic computer game graphics. Oh, hello there. Yeah, do you have a suggestion? or perhaps just a question. Anything? Ah, well, that's okay. I really don't blame you for being new to my channel. I mean, I'm a relatively small creator right now anyway, so... But, any suggestion to what we should react to? Sorry, I've been a little sick right now. Let's go back to the YouTube home. Hopefully we don't find anything cursed. It's the same, or no? Well then. Don't judge. I do plan to get a mic sometime in the future because yelling like out loud is not very good, you know? I need a mic. Because also like that's the reason why some of my desktop audio like mixes in with my mic audio, because I don't have a proper mic, so it just mixes for some reason. Hold on, there's one really funny video that I want to show here. I just need to make sure it's not copyrighted. Then again, it probably isn't, since it's not music. What? Hold on. I'm doing something. Okay, hold on. I'm figuring something out. Because there's a chance it isn't, and Google is just lying to me. So let me just say, has anyone here heard of the amazing digital swalala? It seems nothing is giving me a proper answer, so I must consult the basement. Okay, so there's no evidence that it is or isn't copyrighted. So you know what? Let's send it. This was, well, let's just say it is kind of PG. So, warning children in the audience, if there are any, do not watch this. but it is absolutely hilarious. I'll talk over a little bit. Maybe that'll keep it out of copyright. Maybe.
Keep kids playing.
Mastering sales takes only 19 simple steps.
Simple, huh? No.
Station can happen after we've loaded up on.
What? Add like 5 seconds
Keep
later?
kids playing.
Hey man, can you share your
What-
number
what
one
malarkey
tip
is
for business
this?
success? Switch to Monday CRM. Oh, awesome.
YouTube has some explaining to do. I'm getting a million ads a second.
Crazy. Apartments.com AI helped me find the perfect pet-friendly place.
That was easy. Now where's dinner?
Find yours today.
Is the adventure over already?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, what's this?
Hello, my little rubber baby buggy rubber bumpers. Today, I've decided to go to the cigarette store to get essential ingredients for my signature milk and cigarette. I hope you kill yourselves.
What?
You can do whatever you feel like.
Yeah.
You should ask me for sex.
All right.
For an answer, let me consult the knees room.
The knees room.
Okay, why knees? Does this actually mean anything?
It's a store.
What?
Shush!
I love this.
What does it say?
Knees?
Hilarious.
I don't know. Why don't you guys hang out at the Digital Lake? These locations are just...
I know I said no brain rot, but this is the only kind of brain rot that I allow.
Boy.
Oh, that could be fun.
Plus, there are some fun NPCs out there that none of you have even watched with yet.
I'm intelligent.
You certainly are not.
Yeah, the ads are getting crazy lately. Forced to ads
Alright,
now.
so who wants to try
It's
Kane's?
crazy.
I'll give it a go.
Wow, you look mediocre. You ever need a son?
And I don't know if I'm allowed to show the entire thing.
I'll get it.
Hey there, if you want to find my sunken treasure chest, you'll have to...
I love this. I think this creator is severely underrated.
Hey man, this looks
Hey,
pretty
Dr.
good.
Boy, wait. Where's your clothes?
Where your clothes at?
Way to interrupt my nap.
He's a human.
Yeah,
He's actually an NPC.
again,
guess.
no children.
Kane, that's me. I think I found the way to leave.
Am I doing this wrong? None of these even fit in my hole.
Has anybody even tried just... Oh, thank God.
Let's just get inside before Kane sees us.
Go get Kinger.
No.
We can fill him in later. I don't really know if I'm, ready to face him again after what happened. We've both done things we're not proud of. I'm one of the original programmers of the Digital Circus. I was part of a team of experts in...
Okay. You know what's gonna happen when we do all this? Kane's gonna pop out and say,
Congratulations.
on beating the Escape the Circus adventure, and everything's gonna go back to the way it always was.
Do you have a name?
I do. My name is Asshole.
Man, shut your bitch.
Hey, Kane, you around?
You wanna get dinner together?
Gasp! A human wanting to kill
I'll
yourself
play
with
this
me?
until like the midpoint of it.
I wanted to ask you about... What do you think I should do to make me more the Zooble and the... Conversation can happen after we've loaded up on...
Then you're going to want to ask him about his ass. You'll be able to grab the key from inside his ass.
Inside his what?
His ass.
What are your thoughts on
Do you have any...
ass?
Yeah, like...
Why, I didn't think a human would ever want to ask me about my ass. This is the most ass moment of my...
Yeah, that... I love that. I think the Amazing Digital Circus YTPs are hilarious. The Amazing Digital Circus fans are nuts. Not that I blame them. I am. If this video gets copyright claimed, we'll blame Google. Because Google is the one who said yes, so we'll blame them. So, what else should we react to? Just open myself a drink. Because, boys, it's hot here. Seriously, we have two ceiling fans, a normal fan, or like a box fan, and an AC all running at the same time, and it is still hot. It is crazy how hot it is outside. You know, as much as I usually do most of my art on like my phone or laptop or stuff, I have a decent amount of experience with like normal physical art. You could see in like one of my drawers, I just have like a bunch of my art projects. It really just goes to show how much you can do with just a pencil and a paper, or plastic and hot glue. I don't know. We've done some weird things in art. One of our more recent things was literally, so like we made a sketch on a piece of cardboard, and then we had to, put puzzle pieces over, like, the primary parts of it, and from there, we just paint all of it. Mine didn't actually turn out half bad. I drew I drew a random white person falling from space into the atmosphere of a strange, I guess, an oxidized planet that somehow has grass, so... My mind is weird. I also drew a spaceship in the corner that is, like, shaped like a gun for some reason. I have some crazy thoughts. Have you ever tried realism? Realism is very tricky. So basically we had this art project where we took a piece of cardboard and an image of ourselves that we like cropped on the computer and printed, and then we had to replicate the image in black and white on the cardboard. I low-key did great. One of the only times my art teacher has ever like actually shown impressiveness. Like my art teacher is hard to impress, and I somehow managed to by doing something I have next to no experience with. Yeah, it is crazy. Is it Sheila? Get out, but it's Gangnam Style? What? Since when is Get Out Gangnam Style? I also just never learned how to sing that song properly. You could hear it in one of my videos when I was voicing Nightmare. I had him singing Gangnam Style, and I just did horribly because I have no idea how to sing it properly. No. No. I hate that I saw that. Party in the CIA. Gospel of Dismay is a good one. But I don't know. I don't know which of these is, like, actually okay to show. Mainly because YouTube. Like, hold on. I gotta check this. Okay, so probably not. I probably shouldn't show it. Alone is a decent one. Probably one of the only Marshmallow songs that I actually know well. weed corruption. I remember this. I remember all this kind of stuff. Wait, that's Stupendium? I didn't even I didn't even realize. I might just save that for later. Or should we react to it now? Okay, so I probably can't, unfortunately. Man, why is just everything copyrighted these days? Just can't use any songs just because you want to react to them. I'll probably have to make, like, personal reaction videos for that. Well, either way, I'm just looking for something to react to. Song, gameplay, anything. Just anything that's not gonna get me copyright stricken or something. Man, the comment was so funny that I blew up. Yeah, my my cough has not been great. In fact, I'd probably try to get a cough drop or something. Try to help it. fact, I'll be right back. Oh, yeah, I do actually, at least, like, have played Melon Playground. In fact, I built an entire channel based around it. But, after a few updates, my phone stopped being able to handle it, so I needed to find some other game to be able to continue that kind of content. And luckily, I did get People Playground, so now I can still do that type of content, just with more variability. I already have like 3 times more stuff on People Playground than I do Melon. Yeah, if I go to my channel, down here near the bottom, I have this, and this is kind of like my, Melon Playground one. These old videos were recorded on Melon Playground, but these newer ones I made on People Playground. Just a little bit of self-promotion, you know? But, yeah. A Stripper is a really interesting song, because, like, I can hardly sing it. There are very few songs that I just can't sing at all, and that is part of that few. Not that I don't know the lyrics, no, I've practiced the lyrics a bunch of times. I just can't keep up the pace. Usually I prefer faster songs because they're like really nice and easy for me to understand. But Obstreperous is that kind of fast that's like really tricky to keep up with. Kind of like this other song that I like, but the difference between that is, well, I can actually sing that one. I understand most of the lyrics much better, and the pace is much easier for my mind to comprehend. That song being, the Artist Block Reprise. Is, this one. Right here. Artist block, how can I fix it all? Like, I can keep up with it, but when it comes to Obstreperous, I just can't. In fact, I want to see. Is that song copyrighted? Because if it isn't, then I'll gladly show it here. Hold on, I'll have to see for myself. We'll see later if it is or isn't copyrighted. I really hope it isn't, because I would love to show y'all that. Artist Block Reprise is amazing. It's one of the few songs that I personally think my my character Gulioth would fit with. In fact, speaking of Gulioth, I could probably make a VTuber model for him as well. I mean, it wouldn't be hard. All I really would have to do is just take one of my pictures of him, or just draw him myself, and then just, you know, like, build an idol and talking animation for him. Maybe even some blinking. Y'all can tell I am actually, like, trying out PNG tubing. Okay, you know what? Let's risk it because I'm only gonna show a little bit anyway. I just want y'all to like know of this character and know, or this, not character, know of this creator and know like how amazing his content is, especially Artist Block, because I absolutely love this song to death. I'll only play a little bit of it.
Whoa.
After this ad, of course, because there's no skipping ads. YouTube just doesn't like us skipping ads.
I don't get it, Bubble. I do everything in my power to keep them happy and together, and it just seems like they don't want to participate.
Maybe they just hate you.
No, that's not true. That can't be true.
They do.
Or maybe they realize that you actually don't have that much creativity at all when you're constantly running into these blocks.
This is the part that I sang a minute ago.
I've given everything I can, but couldn't stop the fall. This worthless AI's lost his way. How can he find his peace as every human has a problem that is breaking into pieces, falling bit by bit.
This is especially like very dually off that.
Without a heart to be seen is a friction, an emotion simulated on a screen. Without an end goal, do I really control every single console to regulate the lost souls?
Like I said, this song is goated. Yeah, I'm only gonna play some of it, just to be on the safe side. But yeah, I highly suggest anyone go check this creator out. Artist Block is an incredible masterpiece, and he deserves all the credit he can get. So yeah, go check out Static Films because they're absolutely goated. And yeah. I really hope these songs aren't, like, gonna get me stricken or anything. That would not be good. Smitty why? I'm gonna have to watch this later, aren't I? I actively search for people, like, giving genuine questions about the content I make, because I want to ensure that people know what they're getting into when they watch me, because, like, my content is very unique. It's not the most unique thing out there, but it's certainly something. Something special, I'll give you that. The point is, I make a lot of really interesting content. Usually about the multiverse that I build, or multiverse is. It's an omniverse. Then you have universes, which there's like millions of those in each multiverse. And then dimensions, which are on their own plane of existence. Oh, and then what's under that? Oh, you think it's planets? No, it's galaxies. Stars, planets. Nightmare beasts. And then humans. Or any kind of creature. Then after that is the dimension negative G30. Which, yeah, basically a junk dimension. Anytime a world gets corrupted, everything that isn't corrupted within it goes into negative G30 in order to be stored and potentially used in a later creation. Yeah. And by the way, there are like millions of people, if not even billions or trillions, just stuck there. Because not all people are corrupted in those corrupted universes. It is only most of the things. And so it basically just erases that most of things from existence, and then puts everything else that can't exist out of that universe into a pocket dimension called negative G30. Yeah, I think very carefully about all this. If I make one mistake, I'm gonna have like a million problems against myself. And what's below negative G30? Oh, you know, negative 500. Which is literally a dimension of these, like, I forget exactly how many there are, but there's a bunch of unique creatures in this dimension that play a role in existence itself. So we have the Tygons, which are manifestations of physical ideas. So you have the Tygon of the Void, which is the idea of nothingness. You have the Tygon of music, who's well, you know, the idea of music. The Tygon of the stars. Usually the idea of like rest or like peace. The Tygon of speed. He can go at any speed, match any opponent perfectly, or even best them. There's literally no limit to what he can do in speed-wise. Tygon of the West, which is the idea of like guns and any kind of like Western atmosphere, kind of. I mean, he's literally like based on a sheriff, so yeah. There's the Taigons of the holidays, which, yeah, are based on the idea of those holidays. You have Rygons, which are dimensional travelers. They act as a sort of scout. They keep an eye on all other dimensions in order to basically make sure everything stays balanced. And then there's there's what Cast is. I think he was a Lygon. Either a Lygon or a Bygone. Either way, that's basically what Cast is. Little purple creature things that embody the overall creation of nature and magic. And then there's Digons, which there's only ever been two in existence. That being Zed and Silas. That's because they literally didn't exist until Zed and Silas, like, were forced into a very deadly situation that had to do with their friends. Want to know a very important message within my series? And that this is something that I will make sure to keep alluding to, because it is precisely what drives Zed in the first place. Which is the fact that nothing in the multiverse is the most powerful. No matter what, there will always be something that can take you down. No matter how strong you are. Even if in your universe you're considered the strongest being in existence, you simply aren't. There is always something in the multiverse capable of taking you down. Like Superman, for example. We all know his weakness is kryptonite. And, well, in the multiverse, there's probably a being out there that is literally made of kryptonite. Or even take, like, Goku, for example. I don't want to anger the Goku fans or anything, but, like, there is more than likely a creature somewhere in the multiverse that is capable of taking him down if it really wanted to. The only thing stopping them is the multiversal balance, which is that everything in a story must happen in order for that story to be complete. And if that story is interrupted, then a entire, like, world that can collapse. So, if if that same being that can take down Goku came to Goku and destroyed him right then and there, then, well, that would cause a multiversal imbalance and would destroy both Goku's universe and that creature's universe both at once, because they interfered with each other and caused a multiversal balance that disrupted their story. So it's things like this which drives Zed, because Zed's whole goal is to simply explore. And if he just so happens to be in that kind of situation, well then, yeah, he kind of screwed. Which is why it's his whole goal to keep the multiverse safe to begin with. Because if his universe were ever to, say, collapse because of that, all of his friends would also die. Or at least most of his friends. Which paints a lot of stakes for traveling between dimensions and between universes in the first place. In fact, that's the reason why he made Strike, for the specific purpose of keeping an eye on universes and making sure that there's no multiversal imbalance in them, and making sure the characters' stories get going as best as they can, so that no multiversal imbalance ever has to happen. There are a few unavoidable cases, like when multiversal beings want to just go psycho and kill a different person in a different universe. Yeah, there's usually no stopping that. Unless they can arrive just in time and kill that creature before it gets to anyone. Otherwise, it's just not gonna work. Because without anyone in a universe, then the story just does not make sense. It doesn't care even if it's a background character. As long as that character has significance in the story, either being killed at some point in it, or just simply showing up in the background of a scene, either way, it's gonna affect it a lot. Yeah. Just so y'all know how much thinking I go through. Yeah, I am not joking when I say all this. It is stuff that I have built upon and worked on for several years. I think I know what I'm talking about here. And you may wonder, how does this affect the other multiverses I've made? G3, L3, even O3. How does this affect them? Well, on the most part, it really doesn't, because those stories don't focus on multiversal traveler. Or on a multiversal traveling. So, there's no room to really fit those things into their story. They never learn about it, and thus, there's no reason for them to, explore it in any chance. But that does not mean that there is no room. Because I could potentially pull some sort of like 180 and have that same kind of thing that I explained earlier about a multiversal creature like coming and just wanting to kill something for fun. There is always the possibility of that, and there's gonna have to be something to stop it. Now, the characters within the story are not allowed to touch that thing, because if they do, well, that goes against their story and thus collapse. But if, say, a different multiversal traveler were to, say, come to that multiverse at the exact same time and stop that thing, then it's all good and done. But here's the important thing. There's not a lot of creatures in the multiverse that have multiversal travel in the first place. Zed is one of the few exceptions, because he has his robotic arm, which was specially made in a different universe to travel between universes. And that was part of his story, which is why his universe didn't collapse. It was all part of his story for all of that to happen, which is why his universe is fine, but others may not be. Since there are universes with multiverse traveling stories, well, those are all fine and dandy, because those are meant to have places where they travel between different universes. Thus, everything that happens in those universes should make sense. More often than not, it's a universe based on a previously established world, but simply isn't. Like, you could have the Amazing Digital Circus, but instead of Pomni, there's a female Jax or something. Or you could have Five Nights at Freddy's, but instead of Michael Afton existing, it's only Mike Schmidt. And Mike Schmidt is like a double-dealing maniac or something. I don't know. It's all story-based. If a story is meant to have something happen in it, then as long as that thing isn't interrupted, then that story can continue. Like, if a side character is meant to die in, like, the third season of a show, then that is part of the story. But if a creature were to come along and kill that character before that point, then that is against the story, and thus the entire universe will collapse. Very existential, you know? I feel like I should also, like, level with y'all about my plans for everything. So first off, no, none of my multiverses have been, like, forgotten about or anything. I may forget their names slightly, but I have never forgotten about any one of my multiverses. I have plans for each of them. Just, they are all less developed than my main universe, which I considered C3. The reason why I don't explore the other ones very often is because I'm still working on fleshing out their stories. For example, I have plans for a hidden dark side of the Academy of Triumphants in my G3 multiverse. A hidden dark side, which includes a student that should have been banished a long time ago. But I'm still working on that and trying to build it more, which is why y'all haven't really heard much about it. Same thing for O3. I'm still trying to think of, like, the whole purpose of the story to begin with. Like, of course we have, like, traveling through AT double hockey sticks and stuff, or like what they call the Netherland. And I'm meeting different demons while exploring with a weakened version of Gulioth. So that it acts as a kind of continuation of Gulioth's story, but now he's in a weakened state and has to deal with, like, not being as powerful at the current moment. He's unable to do his, like, crazy abilities, like flipping the world upside down or turning people's insides on their outsides. But he's still decently powerful. Like, he can probably, like, pop out any kind of item from his inside or something. There's also the weird, like, eye thing on the main guy of L3. Like, if I go to my YouTube channel here and I click on this, that is not what I wanted to go to. But if I go to this, let it load. But here, you notice on the picture, there's a little, like, thing coming out of his back. Like, right down here. There's a little thing popping out of his back. And if you look closely, like, on a phone, you can see the entire, like, eye thing that's just coming out. And that's something that I just thought of on the spot to, like, come up with an idea later on. And I'm still trying to think of something for that. Then there's F3. Yeah, F3 is a bit more unique because it explores the central idea of the world instead of focusing on a specific character. I have a lot of anthropomorphic characters that all reside in F3 as a kind of reasoning for it existing in the first place. It's a world where humans and anthropomorphized animals are like both living, breathing creatures that have, like, gotten along. There's still furry hate in it because, of course, humanity. But overall, it explores the ideas of the characters. Instead of just focusing on one single story, it focuses on multiple. With the one that I just put in my logo being Michael. Just my femboy streamer guy. Don't ask, okay? But yeah, we have Seth and her whole story. We have that one lizard lady. I already forgot her name. Don't worry, I have notes. I'll check up on her. And her whole story. Like that, it's all about exploring different stories about the world in general instead of focusing on a single story. L3. Now L3 is a bit unique because it's one of the few universes that aren't originally mine. Or multiverses that aren't originally mine. So, y'all remember my friend Brady? Yeah? His character Silas? This multiverse was his idea. So, basically, two brothers grow up separately from two different parents. One becomes humble and relatively innocent and was raised by their mom. The other one becomes violent and relatively a big fighter and was raised by the dad. And I've done my best to help him adjust the story to have it make more sense. So, there were a few hiccups in it before. But eventually, these two brothers are told to meet up and discover their capabilities. The father brother, he finds out that he can manipulate blood paths in order to create weapons. And the mother brother, he finds out that he's capable of creating a healing aura around him that can also teleport. Yeah, that's something we're still working on. The main idea was teleportation. Like defense and getting out of there if they ever get in trouble. The reason why I never really, make images of these things, being explained, is simply because it's hard to explain. It's hard to put into words half the time. Or even, kind of visualize the idea. In fact, visualizing it is, way harder than actually, telling you what all of this does. Just telling you, I can give a proper explanation. But, giving y'all some sort of, image is not gonna explain a whole lot. Y'all could look at it and be like, oh, that's a really interesting new character or something. He looks slightly menacing, sure, but still pretty cool. Or y'all would be like, why does Gulioth look like that now? What happened between now and when Zed like beat him up? You know, like, it's easier to explain than to make an image that's gonna give you like a tiny hint. Which also leads me into my next project. The Sunbeam Robotics thing. Y'all remember that, right? The reason why I haven't done much with it yet is quite simple. I'm working on building the story. I see myself as more of a writer than a gamer. And because of that, I want to ensure that I have the story of Sunbeam Robotics fleshed out before I actually start, like, working on it. Which, speaking of which, I've barely done dog Okay, so like I'm trying to build my capabilities with Blender, because I've gotten the whole texturing and materials thing partially gotten down now. But my next step is figuring out how to properly add bones to my mesh, because when I tried, my mesh was kind of stretching a bit. A little too much, honestly. I don't know if it's just because I have bendy bones on, or if it's like because I have the mesh as separate pieces, because my character Blank is like in several pieces. Like, I know how to build bones, but I don't exactly know how to, like, properly map them to my mesh. You know? And I prefer getting experience with Blender before I attempt anything more advanced than a simple circle, oval, and 4 lines. Yeah, the tutorials I watch, they give me a general idea of what to do, but they felt like they barely helped. I guess maybe just because I'm, like, doing something wrong or something. Like, I might have messed up something, like, previously, and that's, like, why it's being weird. But, still. Like, I just can't figure this out properly. Yeah, so, story of Sunbeam Robotics. It's something I've been, meaning to get to for quite a while, because, honestly, I've kept a lot of it to myself. I think it's proper that I give y'all an explanation as to the primary, like, reasoning and, characters and personalities and stuff. So, let me break it down a little bit. So, you have the main character, Maddie, right? She is going to an old facility that she recognizes, because her brother, went there for a mysterious reason that is only revealed in the actual, like, game, and I don't want to spoil here. And also, I'm still figuring out. But her brother ran inside, and now she wants to go after him. Talk about top-notch sister, am I right? Anyway, she does not go in alone, or at least she doesn't, like, go to the place alone. She brings a friend to keep watch outside, which was probably a bad idea, but at least she has company for like half of it. You talk to him over the walkie-talkie that she has, and he mainly just like asks like what's going on, and overall keeping in touch with Maddie to make sure that she's not like driving herself insane. And I want to make a very important note that there will be 6 chapters. I understand that people hate 6 chapters because it is not congruent like 5 and, well, Poppy Playtime. But I think that's mainly just because Poppy Playtime, like, gave us an extra one out of surprise. Like, they really didn't need it, but they gave us another one because they felt like it would be a neat surprise, but it turned out to make people hate it. But I am not surprising anyone here. I'm going to flat out say that there will be 6 chapters because that is what I require to tell the story. If you have problems with it, too bad. But it is for good reason, because otherwise I will not be able to tell as congruent of a story with only 5. Each chapter, aside from the 1st and 6th, will include a new mechanic. It will either be a upgrade to your permanent arsenal, or will be a permanent, or a limited mechanic that you only get to use for that one, like, level. And for good reason, too. So, like, Stick. You get him on the 2nd chapter, and that is the only time when you are allowed to use him. Because in a log, or in a, like, note that you see around the beginning, you find out that they set up security protocols specifically against Stick because coworkers kept on, like, slapping people with them and being absolute trolls. So they set up these security protocols to keep that from happening. Thus, the reasoning why you have to leave Stick behind when you get to the exit gate of Chapter 2. But a permanent mechanic idea is the Blacklight, which you acquire in Chapter 3. It becomes a very necessary tool because it gives you it either gives you hints about puzzles and future chapters, or it is required to get through certain areas in Chapter 3. It becomes just a permanent attachment to your flashlight. Something that you can freely toggle as much as you want. Another thing that I want to point out is that well, this game is not going to be child friendly, I'll tell you that. Because, I mean, mascot horror as a genre shouldn't be kid friendly in the first place. And for some reason, people think that way. Because, like, at what point are you gonna look at Freddy Fazbear and think, man, he would be great with my child? Like, why? Do you want your child believing that there are mass murderers on the loose and, like, they should hide in Freddy suits in order to keep away from them? Like, that that is not something that you want to be teaching your child. Anyway, my point is, this, Sumi Robotics will also get into some pretty sensitive topics, and I'm talking, like, self-harm kind of topics. So, yeah, brace yourself for stuff like that. Trust me, I know it is very serious stuff, and that is why I want to warn everyone ahead of time that my series may include that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Before you decide to let your child play friendly Pink Rabbit game, just remember that there are topics in it that children should not know about. I am willing to put this to either PG or even adult ratings because of this topic. I am not afraid to. Because I am not removing this kind of stuff just because little Timmy wants to try out Pink Rabbit game. But just a fair warning for those who are sensitive to that type of topic. I will include that kind of stuff. So, when the game does release, you know to brace yourself. If you do choose to play it. Which I partially doubt you will. But, while we're on the releasing topic, I will level with you. I do not like games where chapters are all separated by different games, or anything where the chapters are released one by one. I like a game that gives you every single chapter all at once, and all you gotta do is play through it. Kind of like Bendy in the Dark Revival. Like one continuous experience that is separated by chapters. That is the type of game mine will be. It is one continuous experience that will be separated by chapters. Not multiple separate games, not like what the first Bendy did, where like each chapter were like made separately. No. Simply all chapters all in one continuous game. And this for good reason. Because the whole point of my game is choice. You have choices. You're never stuck to one option. Take the beginning for an example. In the beginning, you're immediately given two choices via an objective tab in the corner. You can either try to break through the front door, which is boarded up, or you can try to crack the glass leading to the like that, I forgot the room is called. It's like a desk room for like bringing in people for tours. My mind forgot, okay. But you have a choice there. And admittedly, the second option is the best because you actually get lore out of it. Because by taking the first option, you will likely make a lot of sound. That's more just audio, not like anything that actually like changes gameplay much. Or you can take the side window, which will lead you into a room that gives you a battery and a lore note. But in exchange, you are slower for like a few seconds. So, which would you take? The front door for speedrunning or the side door for lore? Oh yeah, by the way, I should mention the battery mechanic. I wanted a way to save that isn't for free, in that you need to be at a specific place with a certain item for. Kind of mixing the mechanics of a security breach, My Friendly Neighborhood, and Bendy Dark Revival. So like here's the idea. You have a flashlight, right? You have to take that flashlight to these little recharge stations, and you need a battery. So you pop the flashlight in, put the battery in, and you're prompted to save. This is not going to be as free as the batteries are in Bendy and the Dark Revival, nor the coins in My Friendly Neighborhood. They're gonna be a bit more sparse, and thus you'll have to be more careful about where you save. But there's also a side effect of using these. Because it basically overcharges your flashlight for a little bit. It'll make your flashlight a little bit brighter for like a minute. So, you can choose how you want, but I'm just saying, I have unique mechanical ideas for this game. Another thing to note is to not underestimate Coppertail. Just don't. He will bite you. Or stomp your head. Like, literally. And also, for all of you sickos out there with a feet fetish, yes, I am Z Gamer. But all of the freaks that have a foot fetish, just don't mention Coppertail's jump scare, okay? Yes, hello, Jack. I'm ranting about a bunch of different stuff. Yeah, I've actually been doing pretty good. It's still not 1K yet, but we're getting there. And hey, I even have an indie horror game that I'm working on. Mostly just a story, though. Nice. That's a pretty good number. Personally, 7 or 11 are usually really lucky numbers for me. Sometimes even 15. I'd also like to show the chat, but I really don't know how. I don't know. I'll do it in the next one. I'll figure it out and just do it in the next one. Yeah, like I was gonna say, Coppertail's jump scare is very interesting. Not like it should be weird, but yeah, jump scares can be hard to do. Cool. So, a cool thing that I have planned for the jump scares in Sunbeam Robotics is well, the whole idea of, like, you turning around to see them jump scare you. But it's gonna be more than that. I want it to be more unique. Like, less scripted and more like a natural occurrence. So, like, the idea is that whatever way your character is turned when you get jump scared, the enemy will literally turn you around and jump scare you immediately before either, like, holding you up or tossing you down to the ground and finishing you off. Like, it's not just gonna be a simple boo surprise. No, like, it is an actual, like, kill. They're gonna literally kill you. Well, most of them at least. Like a Coppertail, for example. His is literally tossing you to the ground and stomping on your head. Like a blackout. You know, I've taken inspiration from a bunch of different mascot horror titles. I've taken inspiration from Poppy Playtime, Bendy and the Dark Revival, only a little bit Security Breach, and overall FNAF. I mean, one of the characters is literally just Jackie from Secret of the Mimic, so... So, there's clear inspiration there. But I try to keep things unique. Another thing I want to point out is that there is not going to be a canon ending. There will be 2 main endings that you get to choose from, and I will let the fan base decide for themselves which one they want the canon ending to be. Because either one can work. One is simply just being a good person, and the second is just being real. Realistic, and you get some more lore out of it. Cool. My point is, this is not going to be another boring mascot horror game. It's not going to... It's definitely not going to be like low quality like Garten Ban Ban. But it will probably not be as good as something like FNAF. And honestly, I'm fine with that. Realistically, next to no one can compete with FNAF. But then again, people said that about Pokemon, and here we are with Pal World. So, who knows? I just like people to be aware that I am working on things behind the scenes, and I have a lot of stuff running through my mind at a time, so, well, best y'all can do is show your support. Best I can do is go insane 500 times until I figure something out. And sure, some of it is laziness. Sometimes I'm just not feeling up for it. But I try to spend as much time as I can building these worlds. I actively have thoughts of them running through my mind. So I'm actively trying to think about them and making sure that I'm not, like, messing up anything. Like, my first ever actual character, Zoran, I severely messed him up when I was younger, because I just made him too overpowered. He, like, one-shotted any enemy. And so I've revisited him more recently and rebalanced him to actually have good character growth and story. Making him, like, not super overpowered and, like, actually limited by his own enemies. Same thing for Zordon, just with Zordon already had a decent, like, start for a story. Like, tragic event meets, ally meets trials and fighting against multiversal beings and stuff. The point is, Zordon had a better start, and so I don't really have to balance him out as much, because I already had a better idea of what he was gonna be. And in fact, his whole story is what led into Zed's, so yeah. But I like answering questions about my stuff. I like giving context. Sure, it's fun to keep some of the context hidden, but I find it enjoyable to deliver at least some context to what I do. I don't want people to mistake me for doing the wrong thing or anything. Being a smaller creator, all I really got on my back is a million ideas and a small amount of ways to actually show them. Like, I'm trying to get into animation, but 2D animation is, like, insane. Like, you could talk to any kind of person who's used 3D and 2D animation, and they would immediately tell you, like, 2D animation is, like, 3 times harder than 3D animation. It may sound crazy, but they are not wrong. Because 2D animation, you often have to redraw your characters a million times. Unless you just use, like, separate parts for a character. Well, then, at that point, you gotta draw, like, several different versions of that same part for each and every part. So it's like, what are you supposed to do there? And I'm a bit of a perfectionist, which is why whenever I feel like one of my past works is bad, I feel like I need to go back and fix it, even if I can't. The good thing about 3D animation is that you can easily save renders of any, like, character you've modeled. You don't have to, like, redraw the character several million times or make 100 parts of each part just just to like do 2D animation. You can do 3D animation by simply like rigging your own model, and boom, you have that model saved and can use it really anywhere. Which is one of the reasons why I'm trying to get Blender to work in the first place. So that I can do that without having to like waste like 5 hours redrawing the same character over and over. Because that is gonna take way too much time off of my life than just rigging a character. You ever notice how much I yap? I'm like top tier yapper. Try drawing cartoons to it did a rigged animation app. I mean, that could certainly work, but also like I have my own style that I'm still working on, like this character that I'm using as my PNG tuber. It uses a unique cartoony style that I feel like would be hard to replicate in any kind of like 2D environment properly. Like, especially if you try moving limbs or something, it's gonna look a little awkward unless you draw 500 parts of the same, like, limb. My point is, I feel like it'll save me more time by just rigging a model in Blender and then just porting that model to any kind of, like, stage or something that I can use. My laptop can't handle the most recent version of Blender, but the version of Blender that I am using is 3.0. I do know how to do smooth animation in a 2D style. Like in my computer classes, we did various different types of computer things, including animations. And yeah. I do know how to, like, I know how to get a thing to travel from one place to another and then just tweak the scenes in between to make it go different places. Like, I know how to do that. But I think I just prefer trying out 3D as a good alternative. Like, I'll still often do 2D art, but I think 3D is better for, like, animating. Because once you have a model rigged and stuff, all you gotta do is pull them and the model is properly, like, dragged around and stuff. And I tried getting things like I'm a Source Filmmaker, but that's too large to fit on my laptop with the like 5 million other things on it. I've tried other 3D apps, but they usually have very gimmicky mechanics, or just flat out use AI, so. Prisma 3D. I think I actually have to try that one. Because I don't think I've heard of that one. But yeah, I think what I really need to do first is like practice my animation skills to begin with, because like I've used Blockbench. Don't get me wrong, I know the basics of animation, but Blender is definitely like more complicated. More complicated meshes and 3D models and stuff. And honestly, it feels like it sometimes just tries to overcomplicate things at times. Like, despite how much you can try it, it's still gonna just try to overcomplicate it. Like, I wish I could, like, get my Blender to work on my, like, on OBS. Cause, like, I tried it before and it just shows the background here. Like, I'll open Blender real quick. And y'all don't see it. In fact, it makes it really laggy right now. I guess I can maybe try to, like, instead of doing a game capture, I can do a window capture. Oh. Yeah, that works. Let me move this. There you go. Yeah, this works quite well. Let me adjust this a little bit. But yeah, it works quite well. Better than I low-key expected. Okay, but like, let me open the one that I have made. Okay, so this is the model I'm working on right now. I should have textures on it. I don't know why I don't. Also, my laptop just slightly struggles to load it to begin with. I don't think OBS is really helping much. Yeah. This is, there you go. Like, I've tried doing shaders for it, and then I've tried, like, doing the, drawing and stuff on them. But I simply can't. I don't know why he's, like, missing part of his face. It's really weird. But it's mainly like getting the rigging to work now. The rigging, I think, is one of the hardest parts for me. But yeah, I wanted to show y'all that. Like I'm working on it, but it is really tricky. It feels like Blender is just trying to overcomplicate it. Or I'm overcomplicating it. Either way, something is overcomplicating it. So yeah, if I can barely do this, then I can only imagine how much struggle is gonna be modeling the Sunbeam Robotics characters. You know, barely anyone probably understand what I'm even talking about with the Sunbeam Robotics. This is what I've been working on specifically for Sunbeam Robotics. It's an indie mascot horror game that I'm working on. I've done a bunch of things such as this. And it's paused. Yeah, I worked on this little sketch of like a stick to like show his main mechanic. As well as these like shows of the different characters. This is the Jackie one, by the way. This is the one that has a strong resemblance to Jackie. Which I did like remodel him a little bit. Or like redraw him in a slightly different way. But adjusted how he looks and stuff. Yeah. Coppertail. This is Copycat. The chapter 3 antagonist. Turntable, the chapter 2 antagonist. Let's see. The chapter 4 antagonist. Chapter 5 antagonist. I have tried Geometry Dash before. Can't say I'm the best at it, but I've at least played it, and I've gotten through at least a couple of the first levels. Again, I can't consider myself great at it. I'd say I've only really, like, legitimately gotten through the first level of it. The others I had to use checkpoints to, like, understand. I'm a Chapter 4 and 5 Ally. I'm a Chapter 3 Ally. Then, Chapter 2, I'm a side antagonist. I'm a Chapter 2 Ally. That was weird. And, this guy I will not spoil. Oh, yeah. I understand why you can't hear me. I don't have an actual microphone, so it's really tricky to actually get it to pick me up. And generally, it's even harder to, like, keep it from mirroring the desktop audio. Yeah, that's something I'm gonna try to fix in the future. Oh yeah, y'all wanna see the shattered versions of some of the characters? Yeah, this gets gruesome. Oh yeah, this is the protagonist, by the way, Maddie. She has a I can't skip through this. We'll have to continue through it. Yeah, I'm a Maddie. I'm a main protagonist. This was just a sketch idea of what she'd look like. I'd say it's a decent idea, but could use a bit of work. You can see she has the radio, and she has a flashlight with a weird thing on the back. I really just should have named this video talking about my Sunbeam Robotics stuff. Because that's really all I'm really yapping about. Yeah. And yeah, all this is being worked on. Like, this is just a sketch. It's likely not going to be the final design, but it might be pretty close. So, yeah. Welcome to Sunbeam Robotics. Our fantastic facility will leave you dumbfounded with pure euphoria. Play with Coppertail, maybe watch one of Turntable's shows, or hang out with the local copycat. Our world is perfect for you and your friends to Experiment 041 is successful. Please stand by for results. And warning. This series may tackle some deep personal issues and violent tendencies that under no circumstances should be repeated. This may include, but is not limited to, self-harm, gore, body horror, mascot horror as a whole, and reckless endangerment. The list does continue, though. So, yeah. Do not treat this like it's a normal thing. But, yeah. I'm gonna have to remove the BC crew from this simply because, well, they aren't, like, part of the main team anymore. They were for a little bit, but now they simply aren't. I'll do that later, though. This has been a long stream, by the way. In fact, it's almost shaping up to be as long as my TF2 stream the other day. But yeah, I wanted to give a bunch of warnings ahead of time for what can be considered when getting into Sunbeam Robotics, because this is not child friendly, and there will in fact be a lot of gore, a lot of fighting, and most importantly, quite a lot of instances of self-harm. So do not repeat anything in it, nor should you, like, allow children to play it. Remember, children are impressionable. Do not let them see Sunbeam Robotics until they are at least, like, 13 or something. Or at least until they're, like, somewhere in their teen years. To where they, like, know about the topics and, like, know to not repeat them. Anyway, do I have anything else to talk about? I mean, I can confirm there's both gonna be chase scenes and boss fights. So, nice. I'm also gonna have a lot of tense situations. Situations where the movement is very tight. For example, and this is just gonna be one simple example. I'm not gonna spoil much about it. But during Coppertail's first chase scene, there's a part where you have to keep on running forward because Coppertail is like pushing over like maintenance shelves as you run. And then he'll ram another one ahead of you down, and he'll like fall on top of it, and you have to very quickly duck under it, which will cause you to slide to avoid like getting captured. Because there is a short window where if you stay down there, then you simply will get captured. He'll like grab you. So you'll specifically have to slide in order to avoid like getting grabbed. Which is another note I want to point out. Maddie is quite fit, meaning that you are going to have some parkour elements incorporated. Things like wall running, sliding, anything that you can consider a realistic parkour like capability, you'll likely be able to do. And I will try to incorporate at least some of this platforming stuff into some of the chase scenes, because understanding the platforming mechanic is very crucial, especially in the later chapters, because there's like really hard boss fights that require you to understand like what you're capable of. Like there'll be attacks that you have to slide under and quickly jump. For example, now there are a few things that I really got to think about balancing, especially with the boss fights. Like the chase scenes, they're usually pretty scripted, but boss fights, I'll have to set up some balancing mechanics to make it like actually possible. I'll also go ahead and hint here that the ending you get is mainly based on your actions throughout the story. Specifically with your choice with every character to either save or kill them. Yes, you can save the monster. I know that isn't usually a horror trope, but it is an intentional mechanic. One that doesn't let you linger on it too long because, well, actions have consequences. Saving all of them will result in the save them ending, which is considered more of a nicer ending. But if you choose to kill any of them, then, well, you'll get the let them rest ending, which is more of bittersweet. You don't get a happily ever after, but it's not exactly a bad thing. I won't spoil too much, because again, I am working on this kind of stuff, and some things are likely to change. I also want to point out that this is going to be a LGBTQ supportive game, because quite a few characters are considered different levels of LGBTQ. There are a few they/them characters. There are, like, a couple gay characters. Like, the point is, LGBTQ is completely fine. In fact, the main mascot himself, Coppertail, he's literally a representation of this idea. His whole deal is, like, being targeted at anyone who considers, like, not being themselves. Like, his whole message that he spreads is to be yourself, to not, like, rely on societal norms. And this displayed in his design. He's a pink rabbit. Rabbits are usually prey, but he acts like predator. And well, Pink is usually considered more of a girly character, at least depending on who you talk to. Most people would consider pink a girly color. So, I mean, not like it generally is, but pink is often considered female. So, giving a pink color palette to a male character, well, you can see where that goes. So, let's see. Coppertail is bisexual. Steelwool and Copycat are both they/them. It's usually a little weird. Steelwool is just a normal trans woman, and then Copycat is a little bit different. You'll see. Yeah, this stream is about to be as long as my TF2 stream. I'll probably leave it here. I can't think of anything else to really yap about, simply because, like, I don't want to spoil too much. I want to give y'all a general idea of what's to come, but I don't want to spoil too much, or else the story is just going to be too obvious. So, I'll leave this stream here. So, just see y'all, I guess.